Hey, howdy, hey, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 4, Episode 4, the Monsters of Rock Challenge. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below what you thought about this episode, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come join the Amateur Hour community, and also make sure to follow me on my other social medias, Twitter at Amateur Hour, Instagram at Amateur Hour, and TikTok at Amateur Hour. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright. So, obviously for today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 4, Episode 4, like I said, the Monsters of Rock Challenge. Of course, this has become a staple in the Boulet Brothers Dragula, and they do it every year, and it's a super fun challenge to watch. I love it, and, I think it was a really, really good episode. I enjoyed this episode so much. There is drama, there is intrigue, there was so much good television. I enjoyed this episode a lot. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Obviously, this episode started out with the monsters walking into the boudoir. Into the boudoir. Obviously, Saint and Coco were missing, and they were wondering which monster was exterminated, obviously. In the end, it is revealed that Saint was eliminated. I mean, we knew this, so it was more revealed to the rest of the cast. But, I think most people were expecting Saint to be returning, just because a lot of people were continuing to say that Coco was definitely getting into their head about the show. And I guess I could see that. I don't know. I love Coco Kane. And I think Coco Kane brought such a special energy to the show that, like, not having Coco Kane kind of sucks a little bit, if I'm being honest here. But, obviously, didn't want Saint to be eliminated either. So in the end, I guess I am okay with it. Anyways, that happens, and then they are continuing to talk. We're starting to get some drama between Mary and Sigourney. Again, this is going to be a theme of this episode. Also, there are a few people just talking in general about where things are going. But, now I want to get into the part where the Boulets introduce the main challenge for this episode. Which, again, like I said, is going to be the Monsters of Rock Challenge. Where they're going to be split into two groups. They specifically say they tried to make groups with more drama. That's definitely the case with one of the groups, so let's just say that. And then not so much with the other, if you ask me. But, hey, I guess there's only so much drama you can force. I don't know. Obviously, they also decide the captains. And the captains are going to be Sigourney and Dali. And the groups are Dali's group is going to be Dali, Hoso, Zavaleta, and Saint. So that's the first group. And then the other group is going to be Sigourney, Bitter Betty, Jade Jolie, and of course, Mary Cherry. Again, Mary Cherry and Sigourney. Again, drama. They want the drama, and they are gonna get the drama. Also, for the challenge, the monsters all have to present their own individual floor show look for a Monsters of Rock look. And then they have to have a second look for the actual performance, where they will be performing together. So of course this look has to be more cohesive, and yeah, and they also have to choreograph the whole show. It's a whole production, pretty much. So that happens, they split up the groups, they're trying to cause drama, it works. When the contestants get back into the boudoir, it's becoming more and more obvious that one group is going to go smoothly and they're just going to get their jobs done and do what they need to do. And they're going to collaborate the way that they need to do. And then you have the other group with Sigourney, Mary, Bitter Betty, and Jade. And it's becoming extremely obvious from the beginning that this group is not going to collaborate the way that they need to. Mary Cherry and Sigourney Beaver do not get along. It is becoming very, very, very apparent. There's so much drama in this episode between the two of them. And then on top of that, you also have the drama between, a little bit between Jade and Bitter, and Jade and Mary, because they're all saying that Jade Jolie isn't really stepping up to the level that they need to be for this challenge, or for the show in general. Almost feels like Jade is hiding behind something. Obviously, with Jade's previous experience on Drag Race, they are trying to protect themselves a little bit, I think. And that's becoming apparent to the other monsters in the show. So they're all discussing what they're going to do for the looks, for the performance, all the above. Mary, Cherry, and Sigourney's saying, let's go pretty, because obviously they're all the pretty girls in one group, and then everyone else. And then, obviously, you have other people who are like, we need to bring filth, we need to bring horror, that's why they put us together, they want us to go out of our box. So there's kind of an immediate split between the two factions? Sure. And then, obviously, Sigourney is still the captain, ultimately. And that's gonna start causing some strife within the group. Right off the bat, it also becomes apparent that Mary Cherry does not have a look for the group challenge, a look that would be cohesive, let's say, with the rest of the group. But Sigourney does have extra fabric, extra pleather fabric, and is saying that Sigourney will be putting together a look for Mary. And I'm like, that's a whole ass thing to do for another group member when they don't have their shit prepared, ultimately. It is brought up later that Mary doesn't know how to sew, but that might be the case. You can still put together a garment using other methods and other tools to try to put a garment together so you can be cohesive and not rely on your teammates to do that. My own take on that. Obviously, then we get to the choreo. Again, right off the bat, Dali's group does the choreo smoothly. Dali's listening to everyone in the group. They're all collaborating. They're all getting their solo moments that they need to do for this main challenge. And then when we get to Sigourney's group, Mary is battling her at every single decision she makes. It's almost as if Mary didn't realize that Sigourney was captain, even though the Boulets clearly stated that Sigourney was going to be the team captain. And so it seems like Mary isn't really taking Sigourney's plan seriously, I guess, is the way I want to describe it. So throughout this entire warm-up process, throughout the entire practice, every single step of the way, Mary is battling with Sigourney. Even during the interviews, at one point, Mary says, oh, I don't really like how you're saying, hope it all works out, or something like that. And Sigourney's like, well, I do. I hope it all works out, because clearly, I'm the only one doing your look. I'm the one doing majority of the work. And it's becoming clear, again, that Mary isn't really, collaborating the way that Mary needs to. Again, don't want to send hate to any of these monsters. I'm just telling you how it happened and my thoughts on it, ultimately. With that all being said, it was a lot of drama. It was a lot of drama throughout this episode. And then you have Mary and Sigourney going at each other. And then you have Bitter Betty and Jade Jolie kind of off in the corner just being quiet. Again, that also goes back to the whole thing where people are saying Jade isn't really there. Jade is being very reserved with their personality, with how they are performing on the show. Again, some fear that they're talking about because of being on the previous show and not wanting to experience that again, I guess is the way I would describe it. So that also brings to question, why would you go on the show in the first place, Jade? I love you. I feel for you, Jade. But why would you go on the show if you don't want to experience the same thing you did before? It's a reality competition show. Granted, Dragula is very different from Drag Race. Dragula is much more open-minded, much more I love Dragula. I love the world of Dragula. But at the same time, I'm like, Jade, if you're not going to be your authentic self, why are you going on this show if you are scared from your previous experience? I don't know. Maybe that's my own opinion on that. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. But now I ultimately want to get to the floor show because we have some looks to discuss and performances to discuss. Performances to discuss. Yes. First, I'm going to go through the group's individual looks by different group. First, we're going to talk with Dali's group. First, I want to talk about Dali's outfit. I really, really enjoyed this. Dali is bringing punk, monster reality to punk and monster to their aesthetics. And again, it fits the assignment. Dali is performing the way that they need to. Dali is putting a look together the way that they need to. Dali is being a team captain the way that they need to. This is Dali's episode. I'm obsessed with Dali this episode. I've been obsessed with Dali the past 2 episodes too. Like, Dali is killing it this season. I love Dali. And then you have Saint. I love Saint's look. I love Saint's look so much. I think Saint looks gorgeous. I love the light in the center of their chest. I love all the motorcycle elements, the wig, all the above. It looks gorgeous. Then we have Zavaleta. I like Zavaleta's look a lot. I think it's good. I do think, I like it. I like it a lot. It does feel a bit simple to me, but maybe that's just me. Again, I don't know. Finally, we're going to talk about Hoso's look, Hoso Teratoma's. I really like this. I love all the colors. I love all the Sing Kid aesthetics. It was a fun way to interpret the challenge. Again, Hoso definitely interprets the challenge very unique ways. The floor shows in very unique ways. So I'm really enjoying Hoso this season as well. Like I said, this was the group to watch. This was the group. They did so well. They worked really, really well together. And all of their looks, I think individual looks too, were really, really good. For them. Well, yeah, all of them, I would say. Now we're going to get to Sigourney's group. First, I'm going to talk with Sigourney's individual look. I love this. I love the shaping. I love the, like, needles on the bodice. I love the makeup, the fans, the shape with the hips and the tiny waist. Sigourney brought it in individual look. So good. Next, I'm going to talk about Bitter Betty. I love this wig. I love Bitter Betty's wigs. Like, Bitter Betty brings some amazing wigs. Again, it makes sense, 1-800 wig takeout, their wig business. You get it. But I love this wig. I love the concept. I love the look. I think this was really, really good. Next, I'm going to talk about Jade Jolie. I did not like this. I'm sorry. I liked what Jade was going for. But again, like I've been saying week after week, I feel like Jade is relying too much on props. And this entire look was relying on the guitar. That's all it was relying on her destroying a guitar. And even then, it didn't feel very punk compared to, like, some of the other looks. It felt very, very timid, very safe. Again, that's how I've been feeling a little bit with Jade Jolie lately with these looks. And this week was really the same for me. And then finally, we have Mary Cherry. I didn't like this. I'm sorry. It was a boot for me. Like, I like the idea of it, but this is probably a good look for Mary Cherry, but not one of my favorite looks of the night. Yeah, it was fine, like I said, but I didn't really like it, if I'm being honest. Now we're gonna get to the performance where they all have to lip sync in punk bands to Poppy, a song by Poppy, Bite Your Teeth, I believe. Bite Your Teeth, I think was the title. It was a good performance. Obviously, Dolly's group, like I was saying, I'm going to go over them first. So smooth, so cohesive. They all work together very, very well. They're all in synchronicity. They all performed beautifully together. It was so good. So good. So good. And then, obviously, we have Sigourney's group. Again, Mary Cherry's wig fell off immediately. They were having multiple malfunctions in their looks. Jade was kind of fading in the background. Again, like I've been saying, Jade continued to fade to the background. And then you have Mary, who... It was rough. It was a rough performance. Obviously, I liked Sigourney's performance. I did like Sigourney, and I liked Sigourney's look for this one. All their looks were very cohesive. And the looks for the other group were also very cohesive. But, with Sigourney's group, I liked it, but I think they could have... They weren't cohesive. Again, it goes back to the beginning of this episode where Mary was questioning every single decision Sigourney made. Every single decision Sigourney made, Mary questioned. And again, it goes back to the whole thing of where apparently she didn't realize that Sigourney was a team captain. I'm like, the Boulet said that from the beginning. They said that Sigourney was the team captain. Listen, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting frustrated with Mary. That's possible. But I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. Now, when it comes to judging, obviously, we have Poppy there as a guest judge, so that's fun. Overall, I thought the judging was pretty fair. The Boulets weren't super impressed by either group's performance, but obviously, in the end, the winner was Dali's group, so congrats to Dali's group, because that was a very, very, very well-deserved win. And the winner of the overall main challenge, because there is an individual winner, is going to be Dali. So I'm super happy for Dali to win their first challenge this season. I love Dali. Again, Dali's clearly making themselves a frontrunner week after week after week, either winning or in the top. Like, I don't see a reality where Dali does not make it to the end. I'm obsessed with Dali this season. So good! Then, of course, that means Sigourney's entire group is up for extermination. After they make that declaration, they go through and ask every individual monster who they think should go home and why. And every single monster says Mary Cherry, because, again, Mary Cherry was kind of relying on Sigourney to put together her look, to really, and then on top of requiring Sigourney to put together their look, Mary also was questioning every single decision Sigourney made as team captain. And I'm like, listen, Mary, I feel for you. I feel for you. Everyone saying your name sucks. But you weren't listening this entire episode. It was becoming more and more apparent as it went on. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below, like I say. So that happens. I think that was all yeah. Now we're gonna get to the Untucked, or the Cauldron, or whatever you want to call it, where Mary's going off, and then also at one point Bitter joins her and goes off on Sigourney as well. And like, why are y'all going off on Sigourney? Sigourney was trying her best to keep the group together and to make it a cohesive look, a cohesive performance. And Mary was questioning her the entire time. I don't know. Again, I don't understand why Bitter ended up siding with Mary when on stage Bitter did vote for Mary to go home. That was a bit of confusion. Then of course they also go after Jade a little bit. At one point Zavaleta even says that Sigourney wasn't a very good team captain, which, I mean, granted, I hear what Zavaleta is saying there, but I think the problem wasn't with Sigourney. I think the problem was with her teammates not listening to her and not... I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. So obviously now we get to the extermination challenge, where they're all in electric chairs and shocking each other, choosing who they decide to get shocked. It was a weird extermination challenge. It was interesting. It was more interesting than last week's extermination challenge for me. But it was a bit hard to follow, because I was still a little bit confused on figuring out how they voted for each other and who voted for who to get shocked and all the above. I just saw everyone getting shocked, so I was a little confused. I don't know. Obviously, that happens. Then we get to the cutscene where we find out that Mary Cherry is going to be the one being eliminated. Again, I don't think this is coming as a shock to anyone, or at least it wasn't to me. Like I was saying in my predictions video yesterday, I saw Mary Cherry coming out, leaving the competition very soon, and this week just so happened to be very soon. So that does bring me to the end of my review. Again, I don't want to send hate to any of these monsters. They are all super talented and doing the damn thing, and congrats to them on that. I love the show. I love the Boulet brothers. I love Dragula. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. I really love having conversations with you guys about Dragula, especially. Yeah, that does bring me to the end of my review. Let me know what sort of content you would like to see on my channel down below. I will be back here tomorrow with my Drag Race UK review as well, so be on the lookout for that. And I might try to do a YouTube live this weekend, so please let me know if you would like to see that. And yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Follow me on social media. Twitter at @SamMatureHour, Instagram at @SamMatureHour, and TikTok at @SamMatureHour. And YouTube, you're already here, hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys back here tomorrow for another video. Bye!